Hey dudes, it's Leela. How are y'all doing today? Coming at you with another video. So, I'm very excited about this video. If you know me at all, you know that music is a very important thing in my life. I listen to all different kinds of music. I know people say that, but if you saw my playlist, you would totally understand what I'm saying. I really do listen to all kinds of music. And I've never really been at a point in my life where I could narrow it down to my top favorite album. What are your top 10 favorite albums? And I would always just sit there and be like, do you have the time? My playlist is long as hell. I finally narrowed it down to my favorite albums. Let's get into the video. So, album number 1. There is a band from Canada called Reverie Sound Review. I actually have 2 albums. One is their EP and the second would be their LP. I do like the majority of their songs on their EP, but their LP is just easy listening perfection. 2 favorite songs from that album. The first would be Prelude to a Debut. Really love the melody of it. Truthfully, I have barely any understanding of the lyrics or what she's saying. The second song would be The Leisure Lost. It's about the same, but it's a little slower up tempo than Prelude to a Debut. Really good album. They're a really obscure band, very underground, indie. But if you're into that, then I would definitely give them a listen. Number 2 would be one of my just the greatest album of all time. When growing up, I was a big pop punk kid. I was really into Blink-182, Fall Out Boy, Sum 41, things of that nature. Chuck is a really good album, by the way. But the story so far, I really got into them around, I would say 8 years ago. I don't know what it is about this album, but it really spoke to me as a person in their late teens, early 20s type of vibe. 2 favorite songs from that album as well. The first song would be Quicksand. It's probably their most known single off of this album, which it should be because it's a banger. And the second song is really special to me. I actually hope to get a tattoo of it one day. I'm not going to tell you which lyric of that I'm going to get tattooed on my body, but I am going to do it because I don't know why. It just spoke to like my melancholy. I was kind of depressed back then. I didn't really know where I fit into the world. But music was the only thing that I knew that was just everything to me. If you're a pop punk kid or a so-called pop punk kid like me, then you'll fucking love this album and I would definitely check it out. Third album. I don't know if you guys know who Kitty is, but also a really obscure indie artist. I don't know how this got recommended to me one day on Spotify, but it did. Morgan Stop from this album is just such a banger. I could listen to this song back to back for 10 hours. It's just that good. The bass in it is dope. Just the etherealness of it. That's really what this whole album is about. It's called Impatience EP. She's really cute. I really like the whole aesthetic, the whole cutesy e-girl aesthetic that kids are doing nowadays. She was the original, so you can thank her for that. Another song that I like on that album is Emo Bounce. Again, very ethereal, very dream poppy. You just get a little bit of everything. Kitty is awesome. Definitely check out this EP. The fourth album is from a pretty well-known band. If you were an indie kid or emo kid or pop punk kid back in the day, it's by Say Anything. Their album Is a Real Boy is just absolute perfection. Like, I love every single song on that album. And that's how I really judge my albums, by my favorites. If I can listen to it straight, just not even skipping a song, it's fucking great. One of my favorite songs off that album is Chia Like I Shall Grow.
The stars scar my ceiling. I won't spare you.
I really listen to this when I'm feeling really down and I feel like I don't know where my life is headed, which is kind of how I feel right now, low-key. But yeah, so that's a really good song if you're feeling some type of way and you're in your feelings. The best song on the album is not Alive with Glory of Love, which is a really good single, but their first song, Belt, is just so dope. Like, it just has this, it reminds me of The Outsiders for some reason.
And the record begins with a song of rebellion.
I don't know why, but it really reminds me of The Outsiders. But this is a really good album. It's very emo. It's very out of the box as far as alternative emo goes. That's how I would categorize it. It's just an overall amazing album. Number 5, we're getting a little heavier, just a little bit, some melodic hardcore. It's by the band We Came as Romans, To Plant a Seed. My God, this album speaks to me in my late teens. Just Kyle's, rest in peace, Kyle. His vocals are just incredible. Like, even to this day, I just belt it out while I'm driving to God knows where, and I just let all my feelings come out, all my feels. You know, it's such a good album. Searching and Seeking is one of the singles on the album that I just absolutely adore. It's just about knowing that you don't know everything, but you're always learning. That's something that I can really relate to. The older that I get, the more I realize I don't know everything, and I'm not supposed to. That's the fun part about life, and that song really reminds me of that. Rest in peace, Kyle. You are definitely missed. So before I reveal my last favorite top album of all time ever, I'm going to mention some honorable mentions. Mention would be Warpaint. It's their self-titled album. Such a chill, stoner, ethereal, alternative album. I would compare it to Kitty's Impatience EP, but not quite. There's a lot more instruments involved, and it's an all-girl band. They're just really weird and really just, I can't think of the word. They're just really weird, and I love it. It's a very another album that I don't understand all the lyrics that are being said half the time, but it's still a really fucking good album. Second honorable mention would be A is for Alpine, by the band Alpine. I think they're an Australian band, New Zealand, something like that, but very obscure indie band. They're also just incredible. Hands and Soft Sides are two of my favorite songs on this album. Just go give it a listen. I can't even describe it for you. It's just dope. Number 9 is something really random, but it's one of the first albums that I ever bought with my own money when I was like a wee teenager. It's definitely Maybe by Oasis. It doesn't seem like it's something that should be on this list at all, but I really was into the British Invasion rock when I was a little bit younger, and I really appreciated this album just because it's raining. I really appreciated this album in my youth because it really gave me a touch of what real British rock was all about. Such a good band. Hats off to Liam and Noel. I know they fight a lot, but Such a good band. Last honorable mention would be Feminine Energy by Londrell. It's more of a spoken word album, but it's so good. I like to listen to it when I meditate, especially in those times where I'm feeling really low. I just kind of put it on and listen to it straight. It's such a good summer meditative album as well. Starting with the first song, Summer Days, and then it just gradually goes deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole of just like meditation and feminine energy, as it's called. If you're into spoken word, definitely would recommend Londrell. He is so talented, just a really talented obscure artist. So we are down to the last top favorite album of all time, and that would have to be Citizen. I was getting into the story so far and all of that, I was definitely into Citizen.
I can see it in the mother's eye, in the way she talks about me. Some things are better left to right.
Went across the country to live in Oregon. That was always on my playlist. It's just such a good melancholy, like going through a breakup type of emo vibe. I fucking love this album.
Shared some secrets that I'd hope you keep, the words that don't come out. And I should have crashed the car, then I'd have drove alone, escape from my gas car. Whoa.
Every single song on it is so good. Another album that I can listen to straight through. I have to be in the mood for it, obviously, because it's so deep and it's so emo, but very fucking good album. Like, would highly recommend if you were into pop punk or anything branching off from that genre. I would definitely recommend Citizen, especially this album, Youth. Such a good album. Okay guys, so that was my top favorite albums of all time. Thank you so much for joining me today. Kind of a random video, but you should definitely tell me some bands. I love when people recommend bands to me. Music is such a major part of my life. It always has been. I wish that I was like more talented of a musician to where I could actually do it for a living, but it's always just been in my blood. So that's just the top albums that I can think of off the top of my head, off of my playlist on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are doing really well. Stay tuned for my next video. I'll put my social media links in the description box below. Thank you so much. You guys have a good one, okay? Bye.